Good afternoon and welcome to the Yolo County Fire Safe Council meeting for Wednesday, March 26, 2025. I'm Jonathan Flora, the chair of the Yolo County Fire Safe meeting, and the first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. And I want to note that we have a revised agenda that came. When did that come out? Yesterday or today? Yesterday.
Yesterday.
And that is what is currently displayed. So we're looking for a motion and a second to approve the minutes, unless we have any additions.
Lettish will move to approve the agenda, the revised agenda.
It's either going to take away the second, or it's going to.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and I'll give everyone a moment after I say all in favor. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Nay. Hearing none, motion carries. The next action item is to approve the meeting minutes from February 26, 2025, and that was sent out last week in the meeting packet. And if there's any corrections or updates, please speak up now. If not, I'll look for a motion to approve in a second.
KP Valley moves.
Was that a motion to approve, Jess, or a motion to approve, Jesse?
Yes, sorry. KP Valley moves to approve the meeting minutes.
Red Cross second.
And I think we had a second. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't have to get off mute quite so fast. All right. Hearing no urgent discussion, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. Okay, hearing none. The minutes are approved, and we move on to member announcements.
I actually don't have any announcements, so if anyone else wants to go.
I'll go. Oh, go ahead, Kate.
Oh, Jesse, take it away.
I was just going to tell everybody we're starting to plan out our defensible space stuff for the year. The grass is growing really high, and I hope that everybody's burning all of their brush while it's nice and wet.
And I have a quick thing that's related to fires, but fires in LA, that on April 4th, Friday, April 4th, there's going to be a concert benefiting people who lost everything in the LA fires from January. And the concert's going to be called Songs in Solidarity, featuring 3 bands. So headliners, the Big Poppies and Pewter Creek Crawdads and Island Crew. It will be at the Winters Opera House. Doors will open at 6:30. Music starts at 7. And tickets, because it's a benefit, will be $30. All proceeds going to the California Community Foundation, which is based in LA and is like they're already on the ground distributing money. So I'll put a link into the chat if anybody's interested in that. It's the way that our county came together after the Paradise fires and then after the fires that have hit our county. And so we're hoping that this is another way that our community can come together and help out other folks.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements, or are we ready to move on to item number 5? Okay, so item number 5, which I'll read, is an action. We want to approve spending $2,000 from the KP Valley State Highway 16 Fuels Reduction Projects on a special Arundo control project downstream from the Gwenda Bridge. And good, Tanya has the
Yeah, a little background. So we will also be requesting funding from a different source, but in the event that they say no, the project is this big patch of Arundo at this sweeping turn. There's homes here, highway here. The landowner would like to burn it, but burning Arundo, if you don't spray it when it starts to grow back, which will be within the next week after you burn it, especially this time of year, it'll be twice as big as it was before. So the landowner has one reason for burning it. And we have recommended to the fire department that they say, no, don't burn it unless we have a follow-up treatment plan, which requires herbicides, staff time, equipment. So controlling Arundo is in the CWPP. To do the whole Cache Creek would be probably a $10 million project, which we don't have. So this would be a piecemeal project, but this bank here is also eroding, and you can see there's homes there. So it would benefit erosion, water quality, the landowner, and then bank stabilization. Any questions about that? It's kind of an odd, a little off topic, but
Tanya, this is Elaine. I don't quite understand what you're going to do there. Explain that again.
burn these massive weeds, and from the air, this is not as impressive as if you would be standing there. And then pay staff to come in and treat the resprouts when they're about shoulder high with herbicide.
Okay.
And I think the landowner would pay for it, but the landowner doesn't have any money. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, we would say, well, you pay for it. It's your project. But she's not able.
And I think I'll point out that the highlighted area is the area along Highway 16, not the corner across the Cache Creek, which is the Arundo.
So it's this mess.
I was looking at that highlighted area and go, well, that's not the creek.
No,
it's the Arundo on the other side. That just to make it clear to everybody.
Yeah. And this was actually a concern a couple of years ago. Damon Snow from the tribe actually did a drone flight over here. So I wish actually I had access to that. I could show you the flight. So yeah, it's a concerning spot. So this is a multi-benefit project, but they're biologically there's no reason to do any burning here unless we follow up with the herbicide. And then after that, we can volunteer and put in a few willow and cottonwood plugs or poles to stabilize the bank if we want. But this is pushing the flood water or the creek towards this bank. Yeah, this is a different project. So does that all make sense?
Yeah.
It's more biology than anything else.
Yeah, I get the point now.
Yeah. That was not the best explanation.
It was fine.
Initial explanation.
Tanya, what would be the impact of taking $2,000 out of the Highway 16 fuels project?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Okay, so here is my detailed project tracking, and currently we have 73,000 allocated for that project. Some of that work will be possibly doing a shaded field break on this patch of eucalyptus, and then the rest would be for a burn, hopefully along the stretch of Highway 16 in the Cape Valley. If you, and I can explain all those as we go through my report, but I don't know, I'm feeling a little skeptical about prescribed burns because they're hard. And if we have a super short burn window, there's other burns that have priority. So that's the pot of money there.
So is it just using that money, part of that money?
Yeah, this was the best pot.
I mean, it's already been slated for this area and you're just using part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that 73,000 that was set aside for the Highway 16 fuels project, that was originally, we were talking about what, like having to pay Caltrans for lane control or something for the burn outside?
Maybe, or planning time for air quality permits, unknown, because right now the update on that side is we're waiting for Caltrans for encroachment permit so that we can just burn off the road, which is the original plan, because that's such a high ignition area.
Any other questions or discussion?
Tanya, is this the only problem area on the creek in that area?
This is sort of the perfect storm area of a willing landowner, an eroding bank, and the good window to burn Arundo. So no, there's a lot of other problem areas, but a lot of them don't have houses at the base of an eroding cliff.
Is there any plans of burning it?
What was that? Sorry.
Is there any other plans of burning those areas or control of those?
In the future, the conservation, we would like to apply for funding to do the Arundo work in that stretch of creek. But like I said, it's a multi-million-dollar project. So that's far in the future.
So basically this one's to be used to stabilize the flow of the creek so it doesn't intrude on the other side.
Correct.
And remove a fuel source.
And remove a big fuel source, yeah.
Well, it sounds reasonable to me, so I'll make a motion to approve. This is Elaine.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Laddish will second.
Any questions? Further discussion?
Same old boy that is.
Pardon?
Jonathan, I don't know if you heard, Kate seconded that motion.
Oh, I did not hear that. That came, or I definitely did not hear that. So, all right. So we have a motion and a second. I'm not hearing any other discussion. So in a moment, I'll call the question unless somebody speaks up or makes it known. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Okay. That appears to have that appears that passes. So we can mark that down as approved, and we're now on to your section, Tanya, the regular reports.
Awesome. Okay, I see at the top of our list is CAL FIRE, and I saw Chief Privet here.
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
Okay, good. There you are.
I'm also with Chief Ingerell's with me today too.
Hello, welcome. Okay, what's going on?
Okay, so the only thing I really have is we've done a rehire and we're staffing 31 engines in the unit and a few dozers. Not all our dozers are staffed, but we do have dozers available in the unit. Possibly the copter on the 18th, but don't hold me to that because that's subject to change with trainings and everything else. And then Chief Bangerell's gave me an assignment to start working on the Highway 28 forms to update them because they're past 5 years. I think that it was counting from the date on it's like 7 years. So we would like to get those up to date with all the if there's no landowners that haven't changed, and at least we have new contact numbers and an updated sheet that we can contact to make sure all the numbers and everybody's on the same page, that no one's changed their mind, we don't have no discrepancies, and that we can move forward soon as we can.
That's good news. Excellent.
If anybody has any questions on anything.
Easy group.
What was that?
That's all I have for my reports. I don't have anything unless you guys have any questions or and need anything answered.
It's a quiet group today. All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Chiefs. Christopher Estrada is here from the Office of Emergency Services to update on the local responsibility area zone maps.
Do you want to give me access to the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Does everyone see that on screen?
Yep, you're good.
Perfect. So I just wanted to provide clarification from our previous meeting regarding the LRA fire hazard severity zones. So these are focused specifically to the local responsibility areas, not the state responsibility areas. Right now, we're at a public comment or public viewing period for these specific LRA locations. Just kind of a little bit of backlash on it. So, I mean, information regarding the zone. So these are focused on specifically on the hazard of physical conditions that exist currently without any type of mitigation measures in place, not so much on the risks. And they're divided and classified into 3 different zones: moderate, high, or very high. The main impacts that this would have would be, for example, for those locations, those properties, either houses or buildings that exist within the very high zones. Those will have, I believe it's 100 feet of clearance around the house, 100 feet of defensible space clearance. And for any type of new buildings that are in construction within the high and the very high zones, those will have new specific requirements on the building code for those. Here on our website, we did post information on it. This link takes you directly to the CAL FIRE's webpage in regards to these zones if you like more information. One thing to note, so this map down here, the GIS one, this one's outdated. We're working on updating it, so disregard this one for now. But below here, these couple of links down here, these are the correct ones. So if you go ahead and select this one, it'll take you to CAL FIRE's map and you can zoom into Yolo County. And this area would be the new updated LRA zones that you're able to identify. So if we go back here, this is kind of a more, let me see where it is. Okay. So this is their webpage, their homepage for these zones. If you scroll down, there is a little neat thing that I came across. which I liked, and it kind of breaks down where you could compare the old and the new zones if you're interested in looking into this. So if we zoom into Yolo County, so moving this to the left, so this used to be the old zones for the LRA specifically, and the new updated zones. As we move this to the left, it shows the updated ones. So you're able to insert your address to see if your address falls in within the moderate high or very high zone. And if you have any questions or concerns regarding impacts or you're just wondering, you could feel free to reach out to our office or also to CAL FIRE's email or phone number directly, and they'll be happy to help and answer any of the questions that you guys may have. And that concludes my update on this. Hope this provided some more clarity.
Christopher, that slider map, that's really cool. That's great.
Yeah, I found that pretty neat to look at.
Thank you. All right.
And then, Chris, for people to provide comments, is it that OES email at the bottom? Well, now, yeah, that one.
Yeah, you can send it to us, and then we'll send it directly to our point of contact that's in
Okay.
charge with these maps through CAL FIRE, or you go ahead and email CAL FIRE specifically. This is a specific email for the zones itself. So either or, whichever one you decide.
Right. And then to clarify, and Chief Brevet Bengarel can confirm this, that CAL FIRE already updated their state responsibility
That's correct.
zones. So now we're working on the local. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the visual image. That helped. You wouldn't mind putting the link in the chat so folks can grab it?
Yep.
That'd be great. Okay, so anyone have any questions for Chris?
Hey, Chris, Matt from Bobcat. I've noticed there's only three sort of classifications, and that's very high, high, and moderate. Is there such thing as a low zone, or are these the only three classifications?
No, these are the only three classifications that they provided.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So these were decided upon the state fire marshal and their data that they used. So yeah, so that's what they came up with.
Okay. Any other questions?
Anya, this is Justin Bengerl with one more comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the discussion regarding the LRA rollout, just a reminder, the comments do go back through the local AHJ because they are actual a local responsibility area lands rather than back to CAL FIRE, which would be the SRA lands. So just as a educational piece for the group.
Okay, thank you. All right, if anyone doesn't have any, Chris, do you have any other reports from the OES?
Nope, not on my end. I don't know if anyone else from my team has any.
Nothing on my end. We're good.
All right, thank you. Okay, I will give some of my updates. So since we last met, we haven't completed any projects. Remember last month, if you weren't here, then you missed the little show and tell of the County Road 41 fuel break. But this is our map. So this is the Rumsey buffer, and this fuel break is done. And this is the Rumsey ditch here. That one is done. The next project we're looking at is some possible thinning of this eucalyptus grove and a prescribed burn here. So that would be more eastern buffer. Again, prescribed burns are challenging in the spring with super narrow window of burn time, so we will see. Oh, the other project here, which is likely to be the next one, is a shaded fuel break in this stretch of Highway 16. So you remember Caltrans had denied our request for an encroachment permit, even though we weren't going to be disturbing any ground, really. So we had to get an archaeological review, which is now under review by Caltrans. And when they review that, they'll send it to the tribe for review. And it didn't seem like there's anything much to be concerned about. So we will probably we have a scope of work already and a notice of exemption. So we'll be releasing a request for proposals as soon as those other hurdles are passed. So that's that project. And then moving down the valley, there's a possible shaded fuel break happening on this scary patch of eucalyptus next to the road. Again, that is in process, being planned. And then the other fuel break that we were talking about along Highway 16, just to remind folks, did not require an archaeological review, which is weird that it's taken Caltrans 4 months to approve the encroachment permit just to do a burn to stretch here. I did rattle some cages, so we may be getting that soon. And again, this is not a super high priority burn, but it is a high fire ignition area, and be nice to just burn off that strip. So we'll see. The other thing that's happening here around this area here, we're going to be putting in our high fire zone awareness sign. We have to do a little building permit from the county, so we just need to do some paperwork, but the signs are built. We just need to also find a contractor to build the frame and install it. Okay, and then the other projects are in Winters, so we'll head on south to Winters here. I mentioned last month we're calling it a mini shaded fuel break right along here on the entrance into Golden Bear. There's a few overhanging trees and shrubs, and our staff is going to be doing that work. It should be about a day. The county will provide traffic control. And also in this area, we have our work along 128. We were able to complete a mile with the Delta crew last year. And this section here, again, this is the south side of the road, not the north side. That's the CAL FIRE side, and our side is the south side. Again, that's an archaeological review. The report's been sent to Caltrans. They're reviewing it. They'll send it to the tribe for review, and it looks like there'll probably be a site visit with the tribe because there are some cultural resources in that stretch. But it looks like there's only a few areas, so we should be able, once that process all happens, to start work up at the top, hopefully with the Delta Kent crew again, and keep clearing out that fuel break. And then in terms of our CAL FIRE planning grant, I've been reaching out to some landowners in the Golden Bear and Pasitas area just to try to get some grazing around these areas to bring the fuel loads down, and also talking with the Bobcat Ranch. Let's see, where are we? About grazing around the edges of Golden Bear. So those are my project reports. Does anyone have any questions on those? In the next week or two, Chief Snyder and Winters is going to be visiting some of his new LRA fire hazard severity zones. So if they're in the west of town in this area, then he and I will talk about possibly doing some fuels reduction if needed.
On a call. Yeah.
Okay, so those are project reports. Any questions? I guess there's one more project. So we have a different an Oak Forest Health grant, and as part of that grant, we're going to be limbing up oak trees along a stretch in the Bobcat Ranch. So that'll be happening 2 weeks from now, 2 or maybe 3 weeks from now. Just limbing the ladder fuels of the oak trees that are reaching towards the ground and are more susceptible to be burned up and therefore less healthy. Okay, moving on to grant updates. There are none. The Prescribed Burn Association update. There are some burns planned, as I mentioned earlier, and there may be an opportunity for PBA members and the public to observe a few burns. Those are being planned. That won't be for a few more months anyway. And then I'm also covering for Ally today on outreach. Address sign and chipper program is still taking signups. And in fact, if you have any friends and neighbors who don't use the internet in the Cape Valley, you can go to your local post office and take a form out of a little pouch and fill it out and return it to your local fire protection district. So that is that outreach. We don't have a lot of folks sign up for the chipper program, and this is exactly the perfect time to be cutting and chipping, especially as, well, we should be getting some rain, but after that, burning will be a little sketchy. Or if you're not comfortable pile burning, then the chipper program is for you or your neighbors.
Hey, sorry, Tanya, this is Tara. Do you have information about like a flyer or just brief information about the chipper program that we could help push out to our newsletter in case that's
We
helpful?
do. Oh yeah.
Right. Can you just send it to your full distribution list? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do that tomorrow. And the address sign program as well. And again, those are funds from Senator Dodd for the SRA and the west of the county. But we do have those flyers. And if you do have neighbors who don't use the internet, you can fill out a form for them if you don't want to go through the physical form. We don't care where they're from as long as they're going into the right parts of the county. Any questions about the Yolo RCD, Yolo Fire Safe Council updates? Leanne, question.
Hi, thank you. Do you have anyone who is a burn boss in your prescribed burn program?
Not yet. We do our PBA coordinator is working towards that, but it's a lot of training and it's also a lot of just hours on fires. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of burn bosses in the state, but there's more and more, but not yet.
Okay.
It's a process.
All right,
Sure. Good question.
Thanks.
I will be the first to announce it when we do.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So I see Karen is here from Solano RCD, and I know Karen has lots to report.
Yes, I think I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted?
You're good.
Great. Okay. So updates from Solano RCD. We have one that is actually a cross-county update. We mentioned this one before, the RCPP Fire Resiliency Program. It's an NRCS federal assistance for conservation practices program. The next application deadline for that, and this is open for both Yolo and Solano counties, the next application deadline for that is coming up, I believe, on April 18th. So if you are interested in receiving some cost share assistance from the federal government for fuel reduction practices on land that is enrolled with the Farm Service Agency, now is the time to reach out to your NRCS office and start talking with them about developing an application for an RCPP project. The office for Yolo County is in Woodland. Tanya, if you've got any information about the possible change in that office's status, please share that. But Vacaville is the Solano County office. Not sure if the
Yeah,
Woodland
it's
office
still
is.
here at
Okay.
221 West Court Street.
Great. Thank you. Other updates from Solano County, we are working on a prescribed burn out at Nelson Hill, Nelson Road in Vacaville, right between Vacaville and Fairfield. I think I've mentioned this one before, but we, in partnership with the California Association of Resource Conservation Districts, we are planning 2 firefighter training courses out there. These are intended primarily for RCD staff, but they will be opened up to the public after a certain amount of time. So there's going to be opportunity for local community members to join in on those. We have the dates set for the first one, which is the firefighter type 2. It's sometimes referred to as basic 32, basic wildland firefighter training course. That one is going to be set for May 8th and 9th out at Nelson Road. And it's 2 days of in-person skills practice. And before that, there's a number of hours of online courses that you need to complete. So if you've got questions about that, please reach out to me. I'll put my email address in the chat box. And registration for that will be open soon. The other course that we're working on getting the dates pinned down for is an S219 course. It's a firing techniques course. And that's going to kick off the broadcast burn out of that site. It's going to be 106 acres of broadcast burning. And what we've been working on so far is limbing up the oaks and piling all of the dead and downed material that's out there, burning those piles. So if you are somebody who checks watch duty frequently, you'll probably see Nelson Road RX Burn on there. That's our project. Other updates, we are planning a PBA meetup that is still in the works, but we're hoping to have that scheduled for either late April or sometime around then. So there will be information coming out soon about that, and we'll be providing details about leadership roles within the PBA and opportunities to help with the cross-county prescribed burning effort, Yolo and Solano. And I believe, our Quail Canyon prescribed grazing project, we are still working on getting a bid from a contractor for that. We are at this point kind of assuming that it's going to be a 2026 implementation, but still slightly holding on hope for 2025. So once we've got details on that, I'll share them through Tanya. And that is it for Solano RCD.
Wow, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, let's thank you, Karen. Let's move on to Community Fire Safe Council reports. Starting at the north, Cape Valley.
Well, we don't have a whole lot going on right now, but our defensible space projects will be starting toward the end of April. We have a total of 5 this year, which is pretty exciting because we've done 2 to 3 per year in the past. So with all our fancy new tools and trailer and whatnot, we are now equipped to hit more places all at once. And that's all we've got today.
Awesome, thank you. Napa is not here, but I did talk to them and they're looking at restarting an address sign program. So that's exciting. And Pleasance Valley, got Leanne and Reveille here. What's going on
Well,
over there on the other side of the creek?
Well, in Pleasance Valley, we're about to implement our little grant. The other thing that's happening that's really significant is the Board of Supervisors in Solano County have taken over the fire districts and are moving forward to consolidate them. There's pluses and minuses to what's going on, and I won't go into details. However, I hope it works out for Solano County, especially those of us in the LNU burn area, because a lot of improvements have been made recently within the VACA district. And that's all I got to have to report. Well, the other thing I want to mention before is my neighbor just had a representative from the FAIR plan out. And now they are concentrating on the 30 to 100 foot perimeter around homes. So that's significant. That's it.
Is that new?
Well, yeah, they were originally concentrating on the 0 to 5.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Leanne. And Wes Winters, Bob is here.
Well, we had to cancel our last meeting. We didn't have enough attendance for our March meeting. Our next meeting will be April 14th for those of in this area. We're concentrating ourselves on the Firewise community effort. Neil Van Elfen's been doing quite a bit of work in the Golden Bear area with his group and everything to get the assessments done, and other people are doing them in the other areas, the Las Positas and likewise. And the only other thing was that Firewise insurance meeting was quite informative. It had quite an attendance. I didn't see a lot of people from what I would consider West Winters, but it did take in quite a few people with a lot of questions and everything. And this is from the person from the California Department of Insurance, which I don't think is very, I don't know what the word, they're always moving. They're still got a lot of decision making to do. They're still arguing policies, procedures, and everything, which includes the fire safe areas. So anyway, that's it. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Bob. Well, that is it for all our reporting. I guess the question is, do you want to hear more reporting in April?
Anya, if that's a question about do we want to meet in April, I'll say yes.
Well, that's for Jonathan to ask.
Okay. Well, if Jonathan asks that question, there's a strong chance that I will also answer in the affirmative.
Yeah. So if we're at the point for the next meeting, I think we'll probably learn that we should at least schedule the meeting for April, because this is still in the period of time of defensible space and things to go on. The one thing I will add on having we did have some communications with one community member who submitted the renewal for the FAIR plan, and they needed a map and a certificate for the fire safe community, and then that was accepted. So the benefit of the Rumsey or the Cape Valley fire safe community, Firewise community, is providing some benefits. But I'll go ahead and add that we're ready to adjourn, and the next meeting would be April 23rd, unless there's a big outcrying that we don't need to meet. So hearing none, I'm just looking for a motion to
motion to adjourn.
Larry, second.
We got a motion and a second. Yes.
I second.
Yeah.
Okay.